5 Stoic hacks to handle toxic people in total silence. Toxic people thrive on one thing: your reaction. They want you angry, frustrated, defensive. They want to pull you into their emotional chaos because that's where they have power. But the moment you learn to respond with silence, calm, and control, their power collapses. The ancient Stoic philosophers mastered this art centuries ago. They faced betrayal, insults, and manipulation, yet remained unshaken. The Stoics discovered that the best revenge is not loud confrontation, but total composure. In this video, we'll uncover 5 Stoic hacks that will teach you how to deal with toxic people silently and effectively without losing your peace, your dignity, or your self-control. By the end, you'll know exactly how to protect your energy, disarm negativity, and rise above the drama with quiet strength. We all encounter toxic people at work, at home, or sometimes even among our closest friends. They might criticize you constantly, twist your words, manipulate situations, or drain your energy with their negativity. Most of us react emotionally, trying to argue, justify, or prove ourselves right. But Stoicism teaches something radical. You don't need to fight chaos, you only need to master. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus lived in times when insults, betrayal, and public humiliation were part of daily life. Yet their teachings on emotional control remain unmatched even today. They believe that no one can truly harm you unless you give them permission through your reaction. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. In this video, we'll learn how to use 5 Stoic strategies to handle toxic people in complete silence, not as a form of weakness, but as the highest form of strength. Let's begin. Hack 1. Master the pause. Control before you respond. The first Stoic hack is deceptively simple, yet incredibly powerful. Pause before you respond. When a toxic person attacks you verbally, your instinct is to react instantly, to defend, explain, or fire back. But the Stoics understood that emotional control begins in that small gap between stimulus and response. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. That reaction, that pause, is where all your power lies. When you feel provoked, stop. Don't respond right away. Let the wave of emotion pass before you speak or act. This silence disarms toxic people because they crave a reaction. Your calmness frustrates their expectations and exposes their own instability. In that pause, remind yourself, I can't control what they say, but I can control what I do next. That awareness alone creates distance between their chaos and your peace. Over time, mastering this pause transforms your relations. You stop being pulled into other people's storms and instead become the eye of calm within them. Hack 2. Detach emotionally. Become the observer, not the victim. The second Stoic hack is emotional detachment. Stoicism teaches that other people's words and actions are external events outside your control. You only control your interpretation of them. The moment you stop taking things personally, toxic people lose their grip on your emotion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if someone does wrong, it is because they are mistaken about what is good or bad. Teach or bear with. That means their behavior says more about them than about you. When you detach emotionally, you become an observer rather than a victim. Instead of saying, they disrespected, you think, this person is acting out of ignorance or pain. That small mental shift neutralizes the emotional charge. You start to see their toxicity as a reflection of their inner turmoil, not your worth. Silence becomes your shield because you refuse to feed their negativity. You no longer play their game. Remember this Stoic truth: you are only hurt when you choose to believe you are. By practicing emotional detachment, you rise above the norm. You move from reaction to observation, from chaos to clarity. Hack 3. Set boundaries without words. The third Stoic hack is to set silent boundaries. Toxic people often test limits. They interrupt, guilt trip, or manipulate situations to get what they want. The Stoics knew that integrity isn't declared, it's demonstrated. You don't need to argue about your boundaries. You enforce them with consistent action. Seneca said, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. Boundaries aren't about punishment, they're about self-respect. You don't need to shout or justify your distance. Your silence speaks for itself. If someone constantly drains your energy, reduce access quietly. If they insult, don't defend, walk away. If they lie, don't expose them, stop trusting. Stoics act, they don't over-explain. This silent boundary setting confuses toxic people because they expect drama. They feed on emotional reaction. When you respond with calm withdrawal, they lose control. Over time, your consistent silence becomes a language, one that says, my peace is not up for negotiation. Hack 4. Reframe the situation. Turn the insults into The fourth Stoic hack is one of the most profound. Reframe insults and negativity into lessons. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, when you wake up in the morning, expect to meet deceitful, jealous, and ungrateful people. He wasn't being pessimistic, he was being prepared. This mental preparation, called premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evil, allowed Stoic to reframe challenges before they even occurred. When something bad happened, it wasn't a shock, it was expected, and therefore manageable. When toxic people insult or criticize, instead of reacting with anger, pause and ask, what does this teach me about patience, resilience, or self-control? Every insult becomes a mirror showing you where you still react emotionally. Every manipulator becomes a test of your composure. Every betrayal becomes a lesson in self-reliance. This reframe turns every toxic interaction into an opportunity for growth. Seneca said, "No man was ever made wise by chance." Your calmness in the face of disrespect is not weakness, it's wisdom in action. Once you learn to reframe negativity, you no longer waste energy hating. You use them as silent teachers on your path to inner mastery. Hack 5. Practice indifference, the power of silent strength. The fifth Stoic hack is the ultimate weapon against toxicity. Indifference. Epictetus taught the concept of apathy, not apathy, but serene indifference toward things beyond your control. When you stop needing approval or fearing disapproval, no one can manipulate. Toxic people thrive when they sense emotional dependence. They use your desire for validation to control you, but when you no longer seek their approval, their power dissolves instantly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be indifferent to what makes no difference." That means their opinion, gossip, or judgment holds no value unless you give it value. True indifference doesn't come from cold, it comes from strength. It's the silent confidence of someone who knows their worth. When you practice this kind of calm indifference, toxic people become irrelevant. Their words lose meaning. Their games lose effect. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting their own weakness. As the Stoics would say, you can't be enslaved by what you learn to live without. Teach Stoic state of silence. Silence in Stoics is not the absence of words, it's the presence of mastery. It means choosing calm over chaos, control over reaction, and wisdom over ego. When you deal with toxic people silent, you're not being passive, you're being strategic. You're reclaiming the power they try to steal through manipulation. You're communicating strength through composure. Each of these Stoic hacks, the pause, detach, silent boundary, reframing, and indifference, builds an invisible fortress around your mind. Within that fortress, no insult can wound you, no gossip can shake, and no manipulator can reach. This is the state the Stoics call ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. It's not that you stop caring about people, it's that you stop giving power to those who don't deserve it. As Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Freedom doesn't come from fighting every battle. It comes from realizing which battles aren't worth fighting at all. In a world filled with noise, manipulation, and emotional chaos, silence is your greatest defense. Toxic people crave attention, drama, and control, but the Stoic stays silent, focused, and untouchable. Remember these 5 Stoic hacks and live them daily. Master the pause, let silence speak before your emotions do. Detach emotionally, be the observer, not the victim. Set boundaries, without words act, don't argue. Reframe every insult, turn negativity into wisdom. Practice indifference, rise above the noise. When you embody these principles, you'll no longer waste your energy on people who don't deserve. You'll walk away from manipulation with quiet dignity, not bitter. You'll develop an inner calm that no insult can disturb. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." That's the essence of Stoic silence, not to prove yourself, not to fight, but to rise above. Your silence will confuse them, your peace will disarm them, and your calmness will remind them of something they can't destroy: your self-mastery. If this video gave you strength, clarity, or peace, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who needs to hear these timeless Stoic lessons. Because the more you master your silence, the less power negativity has over. And that, as the Stoics knew, is the highest form of victory.
Please check out our other videos on the Motivated Stoic channel. If you like this video, please subscribe for more Stoic solutions to modern problems.